Hello Capricorn, welcome to your reading. This is a timeless collective reading for anyone with major Capricorn placements, or if you were just intuitively guided here, I'm sure there's a message for you as well. So per usual, I've been sitting with your energy for a couple of hours. There are a number of channeled messages that have already come through, so I'm going to share these with you first. If you see me looking down, I'm just referencing my notes, and then we'll pull cards together. I have not pulled any cards for you yet. So as soon as I connected with you, I got a vision of a vintage telephone with a rotary dial, and there was a hand reaching forward holding what essentially looked like a stick. I don't know if they made sticks specifically for dialing rotary phones or if it was like a cigarette holder. I don't know what exactly it was, but it was a stick, and this hand was using it to dial the rotary phone. And I knew that the person dialing was you, and I heard Capricorn is about to make an important phone call. So you can take that literally if it resonates. Maybe for some of you, that is actually going to happen. But as a symbol or a metaphor, what Spirit is saying is that you're about to set something very important in motion because you're ready to. You're ready to. You have moved from a space of indecision to a space of decision relative to something. And so all of the energy within you and around you is supportive of you taking the initiative with something. And I do feel it must be something specific. So you've been at this kind of fork in the road moment for a while, trying to feel into which way you really want to take something. That's what I'm hearing now. You were trying to decide which way you wanted to take something, feeling into your heart's true desire. And now somehow you've gained clarity on it. And actually what's coming through just right now in this moment, I don't even have this written down. I'm seeing you standing at a fork in the road, and you're asking yourself, this way or that way, this way or that way. But suddenly, something happened that gave you the awareness that you actually didn't want to go either way or didn't want to take something in either direction. You wanted to create your own direction. Oh, that's so interesting, because I was getting the Three of Wands. So you were in the Two of Wands for a long time, which is fork in the road energy. Two paths before you, which way do I go? But now you've shifted into the Three of Wands, which is taking action, starting to take action on the plan you've put in place. But that third wand to me in this moment is the third path that you're creating. The direction you've decided to take something is entirely unique. It is entirely original. You are, I'm hearing not just thinking outside of the box, but you are moving outside of the box to take something in a direction you hadn't even necessarily considered before, because it's not a pre-existing direction. So there's some creativity here involved in your decision. I was hearing quiet determination. There is a lot of quiet determination in you right now. Even though you're making this forward movement and you're making a big decision, taking the initiative, which is all masculine energy, there's like a quiet confidence to it, or a quiet confidence that is backing it. This initiative you're taking, it's not coming with loud fanfare. And I really feel like you're moving behind the scenes. That doesn't make it any less powerful. Actually, it makes it more powerful. Okay, and I did get the spirit animal, earthworm. I know that's so random. I think in the over decade that I've been channeling energy, I've never gotten earthworm as a spirit animal, but it came through so clearly. So I went ahead and I looked into the symbolism of earthworm, and you can Google it for yourself and see what resonates, but in general, it represents growth, renewal, interconnection, flexibility, and adaptability, but also this sense of humility and working beneath the surface. It's about the value of quiet or behind the scenes work. And that is so exactly what I feel you're doing. It's like you're moving behind the curtain, but you want it to be that way. And I was getting also the analogy of a bowling ball. It's like you've lined yourself up with the bowling lane, looking straight ahead at all the pins at the end of it, holding the bowling ball. You've lined yourself up perfectly. You go ahead and you roll the ball and you release it. And then you kind of let fate take over. This is what you want to do. And it's totally related to the rotary dial. So I did ask Spirit, I'm going to connect this all in just a second, I promise. I did ask Spirit, why did you show me a vintage phone? Why not a modern phone or just a regular landline or even an older phone like the ones that are straight up and down or the ones that are in the wall? Why with a rotary dial? And it's because it's round. The rotary dial is a circle. And so this, of course, is associated with the World card, full moon energy, and also the Wheel of Fortune. And it feels like you're closing a cycle by taking the initiative to get yourself out of fork in the road energy and forge your own path, apparently. You are wrapping up that phase or that cycle, something is being concluded, and also you are turning the wheel in your favor. It's so cool. So it's not even necessarily that, the Wheel of Fortune energy is coming into your life and you just have to go with it because big changes are afoot. You are the one that is actively turning the wheel. Dialing that phone. You're turning the Wheel of Fortune yourself through your own focus and desire and initiative. And of course, a bowling ball is also a circle. So, it's, oh my gosh, it's all connecting in my mind in this moment. When you dial the rotary phone, you do the rotation with the numbers and then you let go and you let things play out. You let the connection be made. And I was also getting, you're setting something in motion that involves other people. So this is going to be some kind of a domino effect. It's not like you do this one thing and then what you want is instantly manifested. You're setting almost a chain reaction of events in motion that involve other people. So there has to be this moment where you stop dialing the numbers, right? Where you let the telephone then connect you and do its work, and then the person communicates back, right? There's that moment where you let go of the bowling ball. You've done all the work to set it up as best you can, but then you have to take your hands off of it and let fate play out. This is part of working behind the scenes. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. And then the last thing here I had was, that I wrote down here, splitting off. You are splitting off into a new timeline or a new reality, but it's one that you've been progressing towards for a long time. So even though this is a very powerful moment, it also feels entirely natural on some level. It's like this feeling of course I'm doing this. Even though you didn't know this would happen exactly for a while, in the way that it is, you didn't know what the outcome would be or what your decision would be. Technically, you did not know that. Somewhere deep down you did, though. This was inevitable, and so it feels very natural to you. I think you've built yourself up to this point where it feels entirely natural for you to be doing this, moving in this direction, setting something off in this direction, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, let's go into some cards. This is the Holler Moon Mountain Oracle deck. Let's see a little bit more about the theme of your reading. What is the theme of this reading for Capricorn? Death. Ooh. Death came forward for Virgo yesterday. And duality at the bottom. There are those two paths, right? The two windows, or the two paths in the Two of Wands. It could be the Two of Wands or the Two of Swords. Both kind of indicate fork in the road energy. But this is so interesting because even though the two windows are illuminated, because light is pouring in, my focus is undeniably drawn to that void space in the center. It would be very easy for someone to think, I have to go this way or that way. I have to choose this path or that path. Because they're so bright and in your face, and they're pre-existing paths. But you took your time, and you felt into what was really aligned for you. And what is aligned for you is neither of these paths, but the void space in the middle, that third wand and the Three of Wands. You're moving into this space of pure potential energy. That's death. So the death card here is not only representing the world card, or that full moon energy I was tapping into through the symbol of the circle, closing out of a cycle, a natural cycle, right? Death is also here indicating the void space you're stepping into. The space where nothing has been created yet, because you're going to create it. The outcome isn't set yet because you're going to create it. You're not, I'm getting that image, the wording of a box again. You're not operating within somebody else's boxes. You want to see what you can do. I'm getting more specifically, you want to play. You want to play with the energies available to you to see what you can create out of it. You want to see just how custom you can make something. An outcome, a path, a creation. I'm also seeing, I'm getting kind of like the devil card in my mind's eye too, but the devil in light, not in shadow. This is more like working behind the scenes energy, working in the dark, like an earthworm, working in the dark. And earthworms were also about enriching the soil. The darkness of the soil. This is so interesting. This is so cool. I think you want, on some level, you also want to be working behind the scenes, creating your very own entirely custom and original path creation outcome situation, whatever it is, I'm not sure. Because then there's no pressure, you know? If you're working behind the scenes, then nobody else can tamper with your, nobody else can tamper with the way you want to do things. Nobody can infiltrate your process or put pressure on you or distort your connection to your own heart and higher self. Nobody can distort your desire if you keep things kind of behind the scenes. Okay, let's move into tarot. This is a tarot of the abyss. Funny enough. Yeah, stepping into the abyss. But that's pure potential. 15, 15. Yeah, I'm just hearing you're going to make this your own. Because you were always going to. You were always going to. Show me Capricorn's general energy. Eight of Wands just flew out. Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. These are two very different energies. And it's interesting that they're kind of aiming towards each other. Let me sit with this for a second. So the Eight of Wands is, of course, pure movement. It is pure energetic movement, rapid action. This is, to me, indicating your readiness to take the initiative with something and to specifically set something in motion. It's interesting because there's no people in the Eight of Wands. Okay, this is a very, very particular message here. I'm gonna try to convey this as best I can. There's kind of two things happening. You know what you want, so you're gonna set the ball rolling in that direction. Part of you setting things in motion in the direction that you want is communicating with other people and setting off that chain reaction in a way that it kind of unfolds itself. And your main part in it is just like flicking that first domino, making that phone call. And then other people will get involved, or the energy will somehow pick up on its own, and you can just stay behind the scenes. The Six of Cups energy is so reflective, reflecting on the past. Nostalgia. Tell me a little bit more. Temperance. Yeah, I mean, this is certainly creating your own outcome, doing something original, blending polarities in order to create something entirely new, bringing great levels of attunement to what you're creating, feeling something out. It's also about healing. And I feel like there's a healing element here with the Six of Cups. There's almost, well, there's something here about privacy. Part of why you want to kind of stay behind the scenes or stay behind the curtain here is because you value your privacy. And there's almost like a layer I can't get through because of that. I think I'm just supposed to say that and then move on. You value your privacy and your ability. You value your secluded space or your ability to be secluded so that you can reflect and process in your own time, in your own way, so that you can heal in your own time, in your own way. So you want to be able to manifest something very real and big while also maintaining that ability to stay private or secluded, to disconnect and be by yourself when needed. You value that a lot. And I think you're realizing you can have both. You can have both. Okay, so what is the, let's go into the, what should I do, the challenge? What is Capricorn setting in motion? Tell me a little bit more about what they're setting in motion. Should I go into that? Yes. The Chariot. Movement, just like the Eight of Wands. And the Seven of Swords. Well, this is strategy. This is, and that speaks to the Two of Wands as well. Putting a plan in motion. The Seven of Swords in its light form as opposed to its shadow form, which most people read it in its shadow state, but here it's not. The Seven of Swords is about strategy, planning ahead, being very analytical, right? So there's a plan here you have that you are about to put in motion. And you know, the Chariot is, amongst other things, it's about incredible levels of focus, and its energy is incredibly streamlined, just like these geese in the V shape. So it's almost like you don't want to micromanage this whole process. You don't want to micromanage your own manifestation. You know that there are many moving parts to it. So you have some kind of idea in mind of how it will unfold, or a plan that you've put in place. And now it's time to just roll that ball down the alley and let go. And it's like, let the plan play itself out. What is the, should I do the challenge or the advice? I'm hearing just go straight into the advice. Advice for Capricorn. Six of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. I'm actually going to pull an oracle card to clarify this. Well, let's clarify both. Let's clarify what you are setting in motion with the Chariot and the Seven of Swords. Calling. Whoa. Something that you feel spiritually guided to manifest. I mean, that makes perfect sense to me, because if it's a genuine calling from your heart and higher self, then that means you have to bring yourself into the equation. You can't just color inside the lines or follow a pre-paved path somebody else has laid out for you. A true calling always involves bringing yourself, your authenticity, your originality to the table. That's temperance. Creating something original because it's of you. So this is something that is entirely of you. And what is, clarify the advice here? Love. These three together look really beautiful. I love that this Queen of Wands has her eyes closed, or they're almost closed. and she's completely focused inward, or on this little spark she's holding in her hands. This is really I feel the center focal point of Spirit's advice for you right now. It is to stay centered and grounded in that inner calling, born of love. There's something about your relationships here with the Six of Pentacles. I feel like what you're creating here is, because it's coming from love, or it will be from love, from your heart and higher self. It will be something that balances your own energies and other people's energies as well. Your alignment with your higher self is going to positively impact the lives of other people. And I was getting from the beginning, what you're setting in motion involves other people. Somehow you following your calling is a form of giving back to other people. Maybe what you're called to do is a form of service. I feel like you are the man standing up here in this image, giving the pentacle to the man on the ground. So this is the energy of service, giving or giving back from love. Giving from overflow, certainly, while respecting your own boundaries. Because the Six of Pentacles also, it's a complicated card, but it is about charity and generosity while respecting your own boundaries. Traditionally it has a man holding the scales, and he's weighing what he gives. He's not just giving freely. He's saying, okay, I can afford to give you this, or I can afford to give you this much, and so I will give this. So it's generosity with acute awareness of your own limits. Okay. And so that is a form of giving love to both yourself and another at the same time. Interesting. Yeah, something about your relationships is ready to balance out somehow. Well, I think you've always been a very generous person, but this Queen of Wands energy is now bringing in the fire of boundaries. This is, I think, self-love, a lot of self-love. This is so interesting. This is kind of a complicated reading. Let's get some journal prompts from my journal prompt deck. Or it feels a little bit complicated to me. I don't know how it's coming across. Journal prompts for Capricorn. If you felt safe to speak your truth, what would you say? Oh, it's so funny. I just made the connection. Calling on a telephone. Wow. How did I not get that immediately? And now we're talking about feeling safe to speak your truth. This is all circulating around the importance of communication. How would you live your life differently if you knew there was no such thing as having a purpose? Well, you would put no limits on yourself. You would put no pressure on yourself in the sense of, I have to find my purpose. I have to find my calling. It's this very specific path that I need to find outside of myself or else I'm a failure. No. You just have fun. You just play. You would just follow your heart and let that be enough. Let's get one more. In what ways are you already who you want to be? That is relating in my mind to the World card, the full moon energy, cycle completion. Like you've reached some kind of apex, I'm hearing. The apex. It's from this, I'm seeing you at the top of a mountain. It's from this vantage point or this apex that you've reached, this cumulative point that you've reached in your life, that you can now do this. Set this in motion. Let's get a closing message from a compendium of Witches' Oracle. Closing message for Capricorn. Thaw, number 36. I don't know if I have ever pulled this in the entire time I've had this deck. That's a long time. All right, number 36. Let's see what the guidebook says. Potential, eagerness, and anticipation. The emerging of the first snowdrops quietly announces that under the soft layer of snow, the earth is getting ready to blossom, eager to feel the warmth of spring once again. Unseen to the eye, life is stirring in the depths of the soil, within insects and last year's seeds alike. Earthworms under the soil, in the dark. Life growing in the dark. The Thaw card represents joyful excitement, the yearning and anticipation for new things to come, and the confident awareness of underlying potential. Yeah. Wow. Okay, Capricorn. I hope this was helpful or at least thought-provoking. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. The journal prompts and all my links will be in the description box. I'll see you again soon. Bye.